You have two water purifiers, one priced at 1,399 yuan and the other at 2,288 yuan. You really want to recommend the 2,288 yuan one to your customers, but you find that most people will buy the cheaper one. Why is this? How can you get customers to choose the 2,288 yuan one? Some people may think it's simple, just explain the advantages of the 2,288 yuan one. However, it's difficult to judge how good a product is and how much it's worth from a rational perspective. From a rational perspective, customers may only be able to make a rational price judgment if they know the reasonable cost, reasonable profit, and prices of similar products on the market. However, for many products, it's difficult for consumers to find a so-called reasonable price because the so-called reasonable price is not determined by cost, but by consumers' perception of the price of the product. Therefore, if you decide to recommend the 2,288 yuan product, you must make consumers perceive its super long-term value compared to other choices. To do this, we need to introduce an important business logic called price anchoring. Concept: price anchoring. Case: when staying in a hotel on a business trip, I chose a paid internet plan. One was 80 yuan per hour, and the other was 105 yuan for the whole day. I immediately chose the 105 yuan plan and found that the only value of the 80 yuan plan was to make me feel that the 105 yuan plan was very cost-effective. The 80 yuan is the so-called price anchor. Price anchoring was proposed by a person named Tversky in 1992. He believed that when consumers are uncertain about the price of a product, they will use two very important principles to judge whether the price of the product is appropriate. The first principle is to avoid extremes. The second principle is to balance and compare. Scenario 1. When there were only two water purifiers available, priced at 1,399 and 2,288 respectively, everyone bought the 1,399 version, but you wanted to sell the 2,288 version. The easiest way is to have the product department produce a new water purifier priced at 43.99. Then you will find that the 2288 version sells much better than before. Scenario 2. If your health check product costs 600 yuan, you can say, "You are willing to spend 6,000 yuan a year to maintain your car, why not spend 600 yuan to maintain yourself?" This is likely to impress many people. Customers will think, "Am I worth less than my car if I spend 6,000 yuan on it?" At this point, the value of the 600 yuan health check plan will become very apparent. Summary: 2 principles for guiding purchases. The first is to avoid extremes. When there are 3 or more choices, many people will not choose the lowest or highest version, but tend to choose the middle one. The second is to balance and compare. When consumers cannot judge whether the value is high or low, they will choose some similar products for comparison to have a measurable standard. Consumers are not really paying for the cost of the product, but for the value it provides. The logic of price anchoring is to give consumers a comparable price perception. Do you understand?